now inviting Alex, which already joined. Alex, if you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thanks for joining us. I was looking to see what was new in Kamailio in the past year, and I saw you did a lot of contribution. It was the reason I contacted you to give us an update. Many thanks for working in what's one of the most complex components of the real-time communication out there, the IMS, Voice over LTE specs.
Thank you very much.
So I'm looking forward to your presentation now.
Do you see my presentation?
Yes, everything is fine. If you want to see yourself as well in the presentation, you have to click on the video so you appear in parallel. But
yes.
if you want only the slides, then it's fine to have only the slides. It's up to you how you prefer to do it. Your floor now.
Thank you.
I think you are muted now. Can you? I don't hear you. Now it's better.
Sorry, yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Alexander Yosifov. I'm working for a small company. I have previous experience in parking and access control system and in gambling industry. Since 2013, I'm working in telecom industry. And for the past 1 year and a half, I'm leading a core network team in our company. And we are using Kamailio SIP server to integrate VoLTE in our products. I am working together with an VoIP engineer and a QA and telecom engineer.
You are again muted.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
There's a few significant changes in the IP security model in the PCSEF. Now the model supports SHA-1 and MD5 security algorithms that they are parsed from a register message. We are using ESP for security, ESP mod for IPsec. Now we are supporting IPv6 for IPsec. I did a lot of improvements in IMS register and PCSEF models. This IPv6 version is supporting for TCP and UDP protocols. And for the last year, we contributed support of TCP protocol. As you see from the presentations, for IPv4 and v6 protocol, we put listen interfaces when we want to use TCP. For IP security, we need 4 security associations and 4 policies. There is a little graphic that presents the created policies and security associations for every new registration. We have 2 in policies and 2 outgoing policies, and we get the user equipment ports from the register message, and we have configured in the configuration file the ports, the server and the client ports for the proxy. We need the associations, security associations 3 and 4 for TCP replies when we want to use TCP protocol. For the last year, we extended the location table in PCSCF. We put a new one more match key that is received port column, because during the re-registration of the user equipment, he used the same IP and the same server port, the same client port. Sorry, and the user equipment is using the same server port and the new client port, and for that reason we need to put a new match key in the table. And for the re-registration, we put a couple 4 new columns, that is proxy client and server port, and proxy temporary and client server and client port. We did a lot improvements in serving model SCSCF. Right now, the single notify is sent to the subscriber after registration. Before that, when we have a new re-registration from the same user equipment, the SCSCF sends for each connection, for each registration, one notify. That's it's not good. Right now we have during the re-registration we sent to the user agent single contact in 200 reply. We sent exactly the contact that we need to send to the UA, because for new registration, before that in the registration reply was sent all of the contacts. Right now, when we have expired contact in SCSCF, we send all contacts listed in notify message body to all subscribers. And the last significant improvements is that we delete all expired contacts from the database. That was a little bug fix. In some situations, some contacts stays in the database after expiration. Here I can show a body of a notify message. When we have expired contacts, we put this contact in the body and with state terminated and event expired, and we put the active contact with registered state and state event and state active. Before that fix, the first contact from the example with state terminated never sends to the subscribers. Right now I will explain with little examples, what you need to configure in the Camelio configuration file for the proxy to enable IP security, and if you want to use TCP connections. First of all, in the red, you can see the parameters that are that are required to be configured in the configuration file. The first one is reuse port for the TCP, and especially for the IP security PCSF module, you need to add, if you use IPv6 address, you need to describe the license address of the proxy server. You need to put the start address, start number for the client ports, and start number for the server ports. This parameter reuse server port by default is 1. It can be skipped here in configuration. In this example, we configure only 2 parallel connections. That's mean we can have only 2 registered user equipment at the same time. The next 2 parameters are not necessarily configurable. They are by default there for the IP security and SPI start address, SPI ID range. By default there they have these values. 100 is the start value, and IP and SPI ID range by default is 1000. They can be skipped here. Oh, sorry, I need to re-authenticate for 1 second. Sorry for that. I get from, if you want to use TCP connections, this parameter should be configured with yes value. I extract from a cookbook the explanation of this parameter. It's required and should be configured with yes, because for TCP connections, for replies, we need to use the same source port on which Camelio is listening. As you see, you need to have operating system with reuse port compiled. The second parameter explained here is IPsec reuse server port. If it is set to 1, for every registration we use the same server port from the proxy site. If you want to use the new server port for every new registration for the same UE, just put this parameter to 1. I will explain here a little bit for the functions that are used for IP security. The first one is IPsec forward. We extended this function with one bitwise parameter FAQ with 2 values. The first is if it's set to 1, IPsec send for socket is named in the code. It's useful for IPsec and TCP. You can, if it's set to 1, the message is sent. The requests are sent through the existing IPsec tunnel. It should be used in combination with TCP reuse port value yes. The second value for the IPsec forward flux is with value 2. It helps to use the newest security associations for requests when we have multiple re-registrations for the same UE, and this is must to be set to this flag to be set when we disabled contact aliases. I will explain a little bit in the next slides for the contact aliases how to be disabled. Here you can see the examples in register reply and on reply route. For MO reply, we can use IPsec forward with location domain and parameter 1. In the main request init route, we can use IPsec forward method with flag 3 because we want to force send for socket for TCP and to reverse search if we disable contact aliases. If we are using contact aliases, we can skip this value, this flag with value 2. The second important function is IPsec create. We put it again single flag parameter for this method, and with value 1. This flag adds functionality to delete all unused tunnels before each registration, because sometimes when we have some errors during re-registration or during new registration, the tunnels, the associations, and the security associations and the policies can be stay undeleted. And with this parameter, this flag, we guarantee that all unused tunnels will be deleted during new registration or re-registration. This is, I put here a simple code. When we invoke IPsec create method with location table and flag 1, we can invoke this method in register reply, and in register reply, the associations and the policies will be created for the new registration. Here you can see example how to disable contact aliases if you if you don't want to add it to the contact. Just create a simple define in your configuration. Here you can use in red color this define. When it's defined this with contact alias, we just put it. We just invoke add contact alias method for invite, subscribe, update, and register method for the received request from the EU to the proxy server, and within dialog route we just put handle Ruri alias invocation to extract the alias from the request URI. In RTP configuration file, we need to put the same define if def if we have defined with contact alias. We depends on request or reply. We put the alias for the message, for the contact, for the current request or a reply. Here you can see the listening ports for the TCP v6 and v4 when we have max two connections for TCP. In the blue color are the server ports. The red one are the default Camelo ports on which Camelo is listening, and in the green colors you can see the client ports. As I mentioned in the beginning, we need to listen on the client ports, because when we send requests over the TCP protocol, we expect the replies from the user equipment on the same ports. That was my shortly presentation for the last year and a half changes and contributions for the IPsec module in Camelo. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Alex. Again, I really appreciate your contribution. The IMS extension are complicated by the specs anyhow, and any help in this area, it's very valuable. More than that, we know that this extension are typically used by large operators or maybe manufacturers for mobile devices, but it's not the usual VoIP deployment, so it's not easy to find developers that want to work in this area, as well as testing in this area. For question from my point of view, what you have your own like lab? Do you have access to like hard phones for testing, like mobile phones for testing, or you use some software application like IMS Droid in most of the cases for this testing? Because this is sometimes my problem when I want to test this one, what I can use as a client side for testing.
Right now we have a small WAP in our company that we are using real phones for tests, and yes, we are using real phones for tests. We are not using some software providers.
But you have sort of developer version for these mobile phones, or someone can enable and choose the mobile operator with the usual mobile phones?
We are using some kind of dev mods for the phones. We are not using real operators for the tests.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that it's not easy to get these developer mode phones, at least from the major vendors, like the big names in mobile devices. Maybe now it's easier to get from the smaller devices and try to test with. as I was working behind in the past with some company helping them with Amarillo and AMS, I knew about this. I wanted to share with everyone watching, as well as getting some updates if anyone else knows client-side tools for using in IMS deployment, especially for this development process, where one doesn't want to spend, significant budget. Okay, thank you. There